Hello, everyone. I wanted to provide an overview of the needs assessment vendor comparison assignment for as we wrap up Unit 4 here. So I'm not going to read the assignment introduction to you all because I really want you to take some time and read that. I'm hopeful that you've all done the reading assignment for this unit so that you do understand what a needs assessment is and how we're going to approach this vendor comparison. Okay. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here. So we'll start off with this scenario. So you're currently working as the HIM director for a healthcare organization in your assigned specialty or sector of healthcare. Your boss, the CEO, has charged you with implementing an electronic health record for the organization, and you are expected to fulfill the role of the project manager and successfully take the organization through all the phases of the system development lifecycle based on the system development lifecycle for EHR project management in Margaret A's textbook, which you'll find in Chapter 2. And you're currently in the planning phase and preparing for the acquisition, design, and development phases of this implementation. Okay, so your planning phase. The first thing that you need to do for this assignment is to create a plan that addresses how you, as the project manager, are going to conduct a functional needs assessment. Okay, and like I said, Chapter 7 in Margaret A's textbook is essential, so make sure that you've read that. Okay, your plan needs to address the following. So you're charged with ensuring input. You're charged with ensuring that input is gathered from all staff and departments for our functional requirements. And so from a project management standpoint, how will you ensure executive management support, medical staff buy-in, other clinical staff buy-in, and end user buy-in? So explain how you will go about accomplishing this. I want you to be specific and support your plan with supporting documentation from your personal research or from the Margaret A text. I can tell you that the Margaret A text is going to give you all the support that you need. So I don't want you to go spend a ton of time researching this and how to conduct a functional needs assessment, but and how you're going to gain buy-in, but make sure that you are supporting what you share with the literature, Margaret A's text, and make sure you're using in-text and reference citations for everything. So then I want you to explain to me how you will identify the internal and external information needs of the organization. So again, explaining how you're going to accomplish this. What is the best way to do this based on your research and or course readings? Again, be specific and support your plan with supporting documentation from your personal research or the Margaret A textbook. Okay, so just a word about this. So internal and external information needs. So when you think about implementing an electronic health record, it's really important that everybody's needs are met, right? And so we talk about functional needs assessment. What are their functional needs? What do they need to do their job? What are their information needs to do their job? So if you're in admitting, what is the information internally that you need to do your job? What is the external information that you need to do your job? External information could be considered insurance verification information. It could be considered, let's see, what other external information? Maybe it's information from a transferring organization, right? Maybe the patient is being transferred from a hospital or a nursing home or whatever that might be. And maybe your specialty is ophthalmology. So if they're coming from a nursing home, what information do you need from the nursing home in order to get that patient registered? Okay. So then you just take it in a step farther. Who are these internal stakeholders? So is it admitting and registration? Is it billing? Is it HIM? Is it coding? Who are the internal players here? Obviously, you're going to have nurses and clinicians and providers. that have internal and external information needs. Okay. So thinking through all of that, and how are you going to go about capturing all of their needs? What do you need to do in order to make sure that their voices are heard so that they are able to do their job with this new electronic health record system? Okay, so that's what I want you to kind of think about when you're creating your plan. Okay, but of course, buy-in is important. And how are you going to go about getting that buy-in? Okay, again, make sure you're reading Margaret A's text. Okay, the second part of your assignment is essentially this table. Okay, um, let me back up one step here. So this plan can be really, typically what I see is it's written in kind of an essay format. Okay, and that is just fine. Doing it in an essay format is probably the easiest. Okay, so I don't have really any like um, page requirements there or anything like that. I really just want you to be as comprehensive as possible and address what I'm looking for. The second part, like I said, is this table. So what I find easiest is for you to just copy and paste this table into your document and go about completing it to the best of your ability. So first, list your specialty up here. So let's just keep going with ophthalmology. So you put that there. Up here, you'll notice we have 3 columns. We have the due diligence, we have vendor A, and we have vendor B. I have filled in some information here just as like an example for all of you, okay? So this is not accurate. This is Simple Practice is not the name of an EHR, and neither is ABC EHR. So just so you have kind of an idea of what I'm looking for here. So comprehensive functionality, again, I've given some examples. We're going to go through this in more detail, but I just want to kind of have you look at this. And we have technology, we have implementation, ongoing support, and we have vendor characteristics. Okay. All right. So the first thing, like I said, that you want to do is get this table copied into your assignment document. Okay, so then using what you've learned through your research on your assigned specialty or sector of healthcare, utilize the table below to identify the key differentiators or needs of your organization. So when I say research your assigned specialty or sector of healthcare, that is really a crucial element of this assignment. So sticking with ophthalmology as my example, you need to go out and you need to research ophthalmology practices and what they need in an EHR. Understand what they do for business, the types of patients that they see, the types of services that they offer. And I think that one of the most helpful things to do is to look for specific EHR vendors that offer EHRs for that specialty. Those websites and things for those vendors will give you a lot of information and a lot of detail regarding the types of functionality that their EHRs offer, which maybe and typically are needs of an ophthalmology clinic or needs of that type of specialty clinic, okay? So definitely go research that before you come up with your list of needs here or key differentiators. Thus the need for you to create that functional needs assessment, right? So just kind of tying this all together. So, okay, so you listen to the needs of your constituents, your stakeholders, and then you enter those needs in these sections on this table. So, but instead of listening, you're going to do your own research, right? You're going to, instead of specifically asking stakeholders, you're going to go out and research these specialties and the different EHRs for these specialties and come up with the needs. Then you'll place them in the proper category here. So is it comprehensive functionality? Does an ophthalmology clinic need a patient portal? I don't know, but that would be functionality that an ophthalmology clinic or that a clinic or a specialty clinic would be looking for in terms of functionality. Do you need coding? Do you need drawing tools? Do you need it to be interface with lab? Does it need to connect with the portal? All of those things that you might think of as kind of standard comprehensive functionality for an EHR. Technology. This is where maybe interfaces come into place. and different things. Again, I mentioned drawing tools up above. It should have been here because that is a form of technology, but it's also a type of functionality as well. So, but technology compatible tablets, what are the needs? Does it need to be, does it need to work with some type of X-ray equipment? Well, then we need interfaces, or lab equipment, then we need interfaces. Does it need to work with a um, patient portal? Again, interfaces. Um, so the different types of technology that might need to be in place. Implementation and ongoing support. So what type of implementation and ongoing support is needed by your specialty clinic to support this electronic health record? Is it 24/7 help desk support? Do you need on-site training for your staff? What is it that is needed by your organization? Okay. Then vendor characteristics. This is more high level stuff. So what you might look for just in determining if this is an organization, this vendor organization is who you want to go into business with. So do they have a good reputation? Are they utilizing a certified electronic health record, or offering a certified electronic health record is what I should say. So all of those kinds of things. Good customer service. What are those characteristics that you might be looking for? Okay. So those are some of those things. I'm going to just keep scrolling here a little bit. So this first letter A here kind of talks about um, some of the forms of due diligence, which is the next column that you'll see here. Due diligence. Okay, so I'm just going to read this to you guys and kind of talk about it a little bit more. So many EHR products will include many of the same functions, especially if they are certified and only using the responses to the RFP. It can be very, if you're only using responses from an RFP, it can be very difficult to narrow the field of vendors to the few that you actually want to conduct further due diligence on, right? Um, and so the complete response to the RFP ensures that all functionality is addressed in your ultimate contract with the vendor of your choice, but it's overwhelming for narrowing the field. So using the table above um, um, can help you complete an objective side-by-side comparison of the vendors. Okay, so first you're going to record that specialty, identify the key differentiators. I would like you to identify between 15 and 20 key differentiators and not duplicating any meaningful use criteria, which is an easy way to kind of go about this, but I don't want you to just copy and paste from the meaningful use criteria. Note here what I have in italics, that it really is important to consider what makes a specialty practice unique compared to a hospital or primary care clinic, and the type of functionality, technology, implementation, ongoing support, and vendor characteristic needs that your specialty has. And so after you've identified the key differentiators, take a look over all of them and ask yourself, how are these differentiators different from a primary care clinic? If they are all in alignment with what a general practice would need, then you need to do more research on your specialty. I want to be able to look at that list of key differentiators and know that you're specifically looking for an EHR for that specialty. So for example, an ophthalmology clinic or a physical therapy rehab type clinic, or is it why am I having a hard time talking this morning? Or is it let's pick some of these examples. Is it nephrology? Is it behavioral health? And some of those, okay? All right, so let's go back here. So that second column then for the key differentiators, I want you to identify the form or forms of due diligence that will reveal the best information for each of the key differentiators. The due diligence tells me how you will go about evaluating whether the vendor can provide you with the key differentiator and or meet the need. So in the column titled due diligence, identify which of the following you would use to make that determination. You may use one or multiple forms of due diligence for each key differentiator or need. So let's just take the example of a patient portal. Say that that is an identified need or key differentiator for your specialty. Let's just work through this list of key differentiators to kind of give you an example what I'm looking for you to do for with each of those. So for a patient portal, would an RFP tell you if that organization can or that vendor can provide you with a patient portal? I would say yes, that when you send out an RFP saying that we need a patient portal, that vendor is going to respond and tell you whether they can or cannot provide a patient portal. Would an EHR demonstration tell you if there is or isn't a patient portal available? I would say yes, that vendor conducting a demonstration of that EHR would be able to tell you if there was a patient portal. Okay. Would a site visit to another organization using that EHR product or vendor be able to tell you if they can offer a portal? I would say yes. So if you're an ophthalmology clinic, you're evaluating these EHR vendors or EHRs, and you find out that the ophthalmology clinic in two towns over is using that same EHR, you call them up and you say, hey, can we come and take a look at how you're using XYZ EHR? And they say, sure. So when you go there, they're going to show you all the bells and whistles and how they're using the EHR. And they would definitely be able to tell you if they're using a patient portal through that vendor. Okay. Conducting a reference check and a corporate check. Those are the next two. So a reference check is kind of like calling up that clinic 2 towns over and say, hey, what do you think of this company? Do they follow through on what they say that they're going to offer? Those kinds of things. A corporate check. Those are things that you're going to do to make sure that vendor is, okay financially. Are they a good system? Are they in good standing? Like all of those kinds of things that you might be looking for kind of a kind of corporate type check, right, on that organization. I'm not sure that either of those checks would provide you with the information that you need here in order to ensure that they offer a patient portal. Okay, so in that column, note that these are numbered 1, 2, and 3. You may just be able to go up here and enter 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that those are the forms of due diligence that you would use to ensure that this vendor meets that need or is able to meet that need. Okay, I will tell you, give you a heads up that those corporate checks and the reference check, those are going to come in more here in these last two categories for implementation, ongoing support, and vendor characteristics. Okay. Hold on, I do have to take this phone call. I'm going to pause this. Okay. So next would be, I'm just going to quick show you before I scroll down. Next are these two vendors, right? You're going to pick a couple of vendors by going online and researching vendors for your specialty. Okay, so you're going to perform market research for your assigned specialty or sector of healthcare to understand the EHR products that are available. Identify 2 EHR vendors for your specialty or sector of healthcare and enter the names of the vendors in the table above, replacing the words vendor A and vendor B with those vendor names. Based on your market research and the information you can obtain from the vendor website, rate the vendor on each key differentiator or need and use the rating scale below. So you're going to identify for each of the key differentiators, I'm sorry, scroll up, hopefully I'm not making you dizzy here. So you're going to, for each of them, so for this instance is patient portal, you're going to enter how they rate on that scale below and enter that rating here, okay? Then once you've got that all done, I want you to just conclude with a short statement, literally 2 to 3 sentences on which vendor would be selective and your rationale for their selection. So, so just a quick little statement telling me which vendor you would pick and why, okay? So your deliverables for this assignment is that plan, right? The plan should probably be 2 to 3 pages in length, double spaced, and then the completed table with that vendor selection statement. Okay. All right. So this recording is getting kind of long. I apologize. I like to talk. So if you have any questions, though, don't hesitate to reach out via email or post a question in that course discussion area for questions and concerns. Okay. All right. I hope you all have a great week and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.